You guys know the used Dell Alienwares are such good deals on eBay, and today I think we probably have one of the best deals we've gotten so far, and it's the newest.
$450 with a 2080 Ti is some really good price performance, but are we missing something and the seller wasn't super reputable? Maybe we got scammed? We'll open it up and find out after word from today's sponsor. Getting into live streaming and producing high quality streams has never been easier, especially when today's video sponsor Holland exists with their Venus Live Air. Holland has created the perfect plug-and-play cinema camera, the Venus Live Air, with a 4K 50 megapixel resolution delivering super high quality video and that crisp background blur that you expect from a quality camera. Not only did they produce a high quality camera, they managed to make it the most versatile camera available. Want to live stream directly to your popular streaming sites at 4K without needing a PC? With built-in live streaming support, you can do that. Want to plug this camera up to your current setup but don't have a capture card? No need. With a single USB 3 cable and UVC support, this camera acts just like a normal webcam and you don't need a capture card. I'm using the Venus Live Air to record this ad read, and we also use it on our Twitch live stream where we build gaming PCs, and the quality it produced for how easy it is to set up is next to none. I think it's safe to say this live stream camera is going to be staying in our arsenal for a long time, and if you guys want to pick one up and upgrade your live streaming game today, check the link down below, and big thanks again to Holland for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to the video, shall we? So to further dive into the whole thing of this seller not being reputable, one, this is a smaller seller that never sold a PC before. All their listings were just random, what looked like yard sale kind of stuff, shirts and everything like that. But also the seller shipped through what I believe was UPS? Yeah, UPS, which I know eBay really pushes like the post office for a lot of shipments. So they provided their own tracking number. Long story short, there was a long time where the shipment did not move and I had no idea what was going on. Well, it comes to realize that they just inserted the wrong tracking number into eBay. So I was a little worried we got scammed, but we actually got the computer and the specs are really awesome. We have a 9700K, we got a 2080 Ti, which is an 11 gig GPU. It has 32 gigs of DDR4 memory, a 2 terabyte SSD, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. So a lot of stuff in here, and is the typical Aurora system. Like it's one of the 51s, I think.
It's like, the Area 51 where it's kind of like triangular.
They tried to go with the, it looks like the HP Victus packaging route with a quite beefier system. So we'll see how that held up in shipping.
It's upside down.
Yay. But yeah, we always talk about how Alienware in modern days is not really good price performance, and they weren't even great price performance back then when this thing was released. I bet this thing was incredibly expensive.
I bet it was a couple grand.
It's really the used market of the...
Hold on.
Hold on. Table needs to chill, bro.
You might have to reset it.
But basically, table intermission, these Alienwares, they just depreciate like crazy, which ends up being good price performance with us, or for us, for PC gamers, because you can actually get some really awesome systems with some higher end hardware for really cheap.
These are they're the Mercedes of the PC world. You drive it off the lot and it instantly loses value. But I've always liked these though, because like, you know, they don't have like the greatest upgrade path, but like, I mean, look at this. The GPU is already plugged in with what looks to be 2 8-pins, and we have 2 more 8-pins. I mean, that's pretty wild. Like, it's probably a 1,000-watt power supply, for being honest.
It normally is. They normally go incredibly overkill. Obviously, that 9700K with an 8-core, 8-thread, which hasn't aged the best. They are still good CPUs, but theoretically, that 2080 Ti, if you look up modern benchmarks, it does go back and forth with like an RTX 5060, minus the ray tracing part. That's always something we always tell people. New 50 series, way better in the ray tracing department, but in terms of raw GPU horsepower, we're looking at like a 5060 level GPU still.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've always really liked how like they designed this with the power supply. Now, we aren't going to be able to see it without taking the 4 screws out. I don't think. I think it's on the other, like one of these sides.
I'll slide it out. You keep doing what you're doing.
I noticed we got a hard drive over here though. We do have dual channel HyperX RAM, which is a brand that we often see in Alienware. As typical, we have a 120 mil liquid cooler. That's always been so interesting with them, because honestly it's not much better than air cooler. This appears to be like an OEM style, probably a Dell 2080 Ti. Is it 2080 Ti?
Yep, 2080 Ti.
Yeah, 2080 Ti.
11 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah, 11 gigs of VRAM, 2 8-pins, like I said, in the power, SLI for anyone who's crazy enough. And they've always done a pretty good job with like their supports. Like this thing is stiff, it's not going anywhere.
Well, we're taking our power supply here. We are going to be rocking a smooth...
Is it 850 or 1000?
It's hard to tell, it's upside down.
850.
850?
850, probably 80 plus gold.
Yep, yeah. 850, 80 plus gold, plenty of watts. Plenty of watts.
Enough.
Yeah, we haven't tested many 2080 Ti systems, even on their launch. That was in the early days where we weren't getting super high-end stuff like that. So 2080 Ti is an awesome GPU. I'd be curious to see what kind of power we get, or power draw.
And then I do see an Intel, I can't tell how big it is. It looks like it's an Intel SSD right underneath the GPU? Do you know?
If it is just one SSD, it should be a 2 terabyte SSD, and there should be a 1 terabyte hard drive, or there's two drives.
An interesting combo.
They basically said the listing shows over like 2,000 gigabytes of SSD storage and 1,000 gigabytes of hard drive storage. So it could be 2 drives, could be 1 drive. We could plug it up with our little portable monitor and verify all that.
There is a hard drive, so yeah, I think that might be right. That's so weird having a 2 terabyte SSD and a 1 terabyte hard drive. That was definitely somebody went through and configured this back in the day because they would have never just shipped it like that. But yeah, probably easily over $2,000 when this thing was new.
I'll put this all back together. Obviously, it's a little dusty. Could use some love. We'll test it in its current configuration, but obviously we'll do a little cleaning montage after all our benchmarks, especially if we see that CPU is running a bit hot, to really make sure it's at its peak performance once it's all done.
Is the RGB working on this side?
Yep. RGB panel is working. Panel, again, I know Joe's pointed out, it's been through it. This is definitely a scratch and dent special right here, ladies and gentlemen.
For this price, though, I'm okay with it.
For the price, you kind of just take the bad with the good here if everything works the way it's supposed to.
Heck yeah. For all my DVD games. Have you ever played a DVD game? Young buck.
First power test.
Young buck. Maybe give it a couple boops. Okay. Turn back on.
This is where the sketchy seller concerns come in. There it is. There it is.
Pretty typical when a PC hadn't been plugged in for a little bit. You know, sometimes the CMOS has to clear a couple times.
It says CMOS check some bad. Maybe you have a bad CMOS.
Battery, maybe?
Yeah, I might need a new battery. So basically, it's not saving BIOS settings.
Well, who knows how? I wonder, did the seller have it on in the photos?
No. It was basically a computer I don't need anymore. That was the description.
Could have been sitting in a closet for like a year.
I could be honest. I think the description says something like, I haven't used this since like 2018.
There you go. So that battery, it may recharge, in all honesty. Or you can just take the battery from your grandpa's hearing aid.
Oh, it says purchase 2018, just don't use it anymore. So it might have just been sit there. An Aurora R8 tower.
So they must be the original owner.
They must be. Which, again, it's a little bit of gamble on eBay because you never really know nowadays what these listings are. But this seems like an authentic, just like some guy with a gaming PC who also uses eBay just to sell random stuff and then sold the computer. It's always a gamble on how those PCs are going to show up because you never really know what the packaging situation is going to be like.
Yeah, they don't usually know how to pack stuff well. But that's why I was saying, I mean, that foam was definitely the original foam. So I'm guessing that this box is either the inner or the outer original box that this probably did come in.
Oh, here, let's just verify the specs if I can get through all this. I also hear something rattling. I don't know if it's the...
Some rattling. I'm curious, I'm gonna see. What model is this, an R11?
Or R8.
R8. Oh my gosh, dude, the entry level version of this was $900 and it came with an i5, probably 8th or 9th gen, with a RX 560. $900.
A 560? Wow. I mean, that was, what, like 2018, but like a 560 back then is...
Okay, so...
Here we go.
The one with the i9, less storage. Is this 32 or 8 gigs?
32.
Less RAM, like less everything except for the GPU. Am I reading $3,100?
$3,100?
How much?
Talk about depreciation, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to remember. What was the 2080 Ti when it came out?
Yeah, it was the one that was getting. It was pushing it. I think it was the first card that went past that like $600 mark that they used to be.
Besides like the Titan, I guess.
Release.
Probably the first Ti model.
No, it was the first $1,000 graphics card.
I almost wanted to say I thought Super. I think the Super was like 7, 8, and then the Ti was.
So it was. I remember that it was like one of the first like consumer level $1,000 graphics cards. So there you go. Put the cone of shame on me right here. I read the listing wrong. It was a 200 gig SSD. It's like a really old like Intel 200 gig SSD too. It's NVMe.
Like maxing out right now.
But it's like maxing out, so we'll run with it. It was running a little bit slow, but hey, we can at least verify the specs here. We did get our 9700K. We did 32 gigs of RAM, dual channel. We got our hard drive, which is there. The hard drive is making weird noises. The SSD is going crazy right now. 2080 Ti with its 11 gigs of VRAM and the integrated graphics. So we at least got we didn't get what we were supposed to get. I just can't read apparently. And I said, 2 terabyte SSD. No, it's a 256 gig SSD, which is pretty on par based on what we're looking at. Small SSD, hard drive, and then everything else pretty high end for that era.
Yeah. No, it definitely makes more sense like this. But yeah, we need to get the internet hooked up and try to do updates and stuff because the seller had a reset Windows install on it, so who knows how old this install is.
So we'll get some updates going, we'll get some games downloaded, and go into some benchmark.
We are now in Marvel Rivals to kick off the benchmark run. We're currently running medium settings and no upscaling, SSGI for our slight ray tracing, and we're looking all right. I mean, we're getting like 80 FPS in battle. We were getting like 120 before we kind of went in, but obviously the FPS is going to tank a little bit when there's all this stuff going on.
First impressions, CPU and GPU are quite warm. I would say they're not overheating level, but CPU is about 87 degrees. We're at 4.4 gigahertz. GPU is running about 86. Both of them might be due for a repaste. GPU could get a little repaste. This game is. What is?
Sorry.
Yo.
Sorry, I got distracted.
GPU could get a repaste. CPU could get a repaste. Biggest thing is we'll just have to make sure that liquid cooler is still holding up just fine too. Obviously, it'd probably be overheating a lot more if there was an actual problem with the liquid cooler, but this is just like maxing out this case is not really like airflow focused.
Yeah, and like 120 mil coolers, it's like I was saying earlier, they're not much better than a tower cooler.
Yeah.
Honestly, a tower cooler would probably be a little more preferred, but I think if we throw on some like Arctic MX6 or something, I bet we'll drop a few degrees at least.
Yeah, I would imagine like an ID cooling cooler would probably do better than this right now. Because
Yeah.
it's only at like 95 watts. I mean, it's higher up on the watts, don't get me wrong, but 87, yeah.
Yeah, these K processors though, they've always kind of run hot. It's an Intel thing. We wouldn't get it.
We wouldn't get it. We don't understand. But it's running smooth. And then you can try some DLSS too, because I mean, we got this 2080 Ti running native. You do have access to DLSS and all the RTX fun stuff.
If I ever die, I definitely will.
And he's like, I ain't dying.
This team's kind of getting rolled though. We can probably do it right here.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go. Did I miss it?
Yeah, up top, right there.
FSR.
And it's only showing FSR. I don't know why the 2080 Ti is not showing DLSS.
Frame gen, no? GTI?
Maybe. Also, it
Escape.
could be this game doesn't have only has DLSS 4 support, and older GPUs can't get it, which it's kind of a bummer. But y'all can let me know. Again, we're running 1080p. We don't need to do this, but this does give you the window if you want to stretch into, let's say, 1440p with a little frame gen, a little DLSS. Well, now FSR, you can do that with this GPU.
It is kind of funny that it's like AMD over here with like more compatibility. Like we can run FSR on our NVIDIA GPU, but not DLSS.
No, just run FSR.
But look at the FPS difference, though. We did just, I think we have almost doubled.
Is frame gen on too?
Yeah, we did frame gen.
Yeah.
But this is quality
Yeah.
FSR, and I don't think it looks really. It might be a little more pixelated. Maybe
not
just a
too
little
bad.
bit. Oh gosh, I'm in an ult. Get me out. Get me out of here. I don't want to be in this. What the hell? What the heliante? Push that cart. Push that cart. Dang it! Tell you what though, I cannot complain about the price that we paid for this and the type of like FPS we're getting.
Yeah,
You could definitely do 1440p too.
Heck yeah.
I mean, for those who don't know, Matt and I actually both we were both 2080 Super guys when they came out.
Playing 1440p, and this card's better.
Many years. We ran them for many years. And we were both 1440p, streaming on them and stuff. They were great for 1440. Even with 8 gigs of VRAM.
Yep.
And this is 11.
You get 11, a little bit more. You're basically getting raw performance of like a 5060, but just less ray tracing raw performance, because the new 50 series has way better ray tracing performance.
It's crazy to think about. It's like 2080 Ti, 5060.
Yeah.
It's not quite like the 1080 Ti jump, you know? Oh, it's just clone. We did it.
Dubskis.
All right, well, Marvel Rivals was really good. Let's go ahead and test out another game.
Next game. Okay, guys, we are now in Spider-Man 2, and I will say, I think we are on the hard drive currently, so do keep that in mind. Some of the servers could be because of that, but I decided, we were just talking about Marvel Rivals, you know, we're in another Marvel game. I decided let's just do 1440p. Let's just see what that's all about, because we might as well, and we are running some DLSS on quality. No frame gen or anything currently, but we do have the option for frame gen, which apparently says frame gen requires a 40 series GPU. I guess it'll let me do FSR frame gen. Okay, so we'll do FSR frame gen, and we're on medium with no ray tracing currently, and we're ever so close to that 60 FPS. Normally around this point is where it'll dip. It is pretty dang close. For the price point, pretty dang close. Now, this is obviously pretty demanding 1440p. 1080p, you could get even better results, but it does look really good at 1440p. Textures are a little slow to load in. We are on a hard drive. If it were me and I was basically running with this deal and I wanted to just get the maximum out of it, I would just ditch the hard drive.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
Add a 2.5-inch SSD or something.
Yeah, 2.5-inch SSD, or maybe just a single big drive. I want to do a new reinstall, whatever. Just basically get rid of that, clean everything up, new thermal paste, all that sort of stuff.
Look at the building not loading in.
There's just stuff not loading in. These games, especially these AAA titles, they're built and like developed on like the PS5 and everything with like a Gen 4 SSD in mind. So like trying to run on a hard drive, you can get away with older PC games on hard drives nowadays. With these other ones, they actually do impact the performance a little bit. So especially this one that's like loading in all this different stuff that's happening around here. So let's say, is there anybody I can actually fight here? It's not telling me anything. Hello? Hello. This is not FrameGen. So FrameGen is an option, which I will turn on so we can see what that looks like. And it would be FSR FrameGen. So we'll see what that ends up doing. But this is a good test. A good test of a AAA title that has been ported to PC. So it's not the most optimized in the world, but it does really like FrameGen if you are okay running FrameGen. Oh, these dang fire kids. Oh gosh. I put out the fires. Come on. Goodbye. That not okay? I just stood on it.
I just
stood on it. That's cool. All right, let's do that. Do that. Oh, I guess I'll beat you all up first. Oh no. Oh no. Oh! But I'm dead. Let's throw on some FrameGen just for the fun of it and see what happens there. Display settings. This will be some FSR FrameGen. Once again, I'd be curious to see what ends up happening with FrameGen with this because it all depends on what frame rate you have. Oh yeah. Not too bad.
Got a good bump.
And the CPU is still decent enough to where you're able to actually utilize FrameGen. If our CPU is bottlenecking us a decent amount, we wouldn't be able to run FrameGen and keep a constant 60 FPS. But we had the ability to do FrameGen. Looking pretty good. Now what we're gonna do, we'll run some built-in benchmarks per usual, some more demanding games. You guys see some more tests. We'll have them at the end of this video. Then we'll do a little cleaning, come back to you all with a new 3D Mark score to see if there was a difference with the cleaning, new thermal paste and all that sort of fun stuff. But for $450, we cannot complain. Is it a little rough around the edges? Yeah, but the hardware we're getting for the price, I think we got a really good deal. Let's do those benchmarks, get to cleaning, and wrap this video up.
So guys, cleaning this Alienware was an absolute challenge because this is probably the dirtiest one we've seen. Even though it's not the oldest Alienware we've seen, we had to go through and repaste not only the CPU, but also our 2080 Ti. The 2080 Ti was absolutely caked up with dust, dirt, and all kinds of debris. So we went through, cleaned all that off. Matt put brand new thermal paste on and then got it all back together. And then I noticed that the radiator, just our tiny little 120 mil, was completely caked up with dust. So we had to go through, take the whole thing apart, air compress it. This is the first time I think we've taken apart a PC twice to air compress it. But after all of that, I think we got this build pretty clean. And overall, we were able to drop the temps by a serious margin.
And we'll talk about those numbers here in a second, but let's talk about the benchmarks I ran before our deep clean so you guys get an idea of the rest of the performance that this PC is capable of. We ran CS2, tended to be low, got an average of 357 FPS with 1% low of 158.5. Battlefield 2042, 1080p medium settings, we got 100 FPS average. Battlefield 6, please come here soon. Rainbow Six X, 1080p medium settings, got an average of 253 FPS, a minimum of 132 and a max of 292. And then after our deep clean, the temperatures in Marvel Rivals before, as you guys saw, the GPU was at around 85 degrees Celsius, the CPU was at 87, and the GPU only dropped down to about 82 degrees Celsius, but that CPU was at 65 degrees Celsius. So we dropped temperatures quite a bit in the CPU department, and that radiator being caked up, it was caked up, ladies and gentlemen. There was a lot of dust on there, but I think the thermal paste did help. Really just getting rid of all that dust was a massive change for this system, and it has a lot of life left. I think it's looking pretty good, and for the price we paid and the amount of time we put into it, I think this is really good price performance. But I want to hear from you guys. Should Jackson get a new pair of shoes, and what do you think about this Alienware deal? Let us know in the comments down below.
But as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Donate down below. Jackson needs shoes. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Guys, this PC will be for sale at PCBros.tech, and things are not looking good. I've not been able to afford a new pair of shoes in a while, so please go buy some PCs.
All jokes aside, buy a PC from PC Bros. You can get budget builds like this that are featured here on the YouTube channel and a bunch of other awesome PCs with great customer support and great warranties. Use the Toasty Bros on checkout. You will save 3% on your next purchase. See you guys later. Bye-bye.